Yeah, man. You already know it, man. It's the one and only, the big 7 Up, man. Live and direct, man. I pray everybody having a great day today, man. You know me, man. Just tapping in with my people today, man. Just wanted to give y'all another story, man, about when I got locked up when I was 15 years old for the body. Oh my God. Hey, listen, man, I really been through a lot, man, and I can share a lot of stories with y'all, man. So if y'all new to my channel, make sure y'all subscribe and like and comment under the channel, under the video for sure, man, because, you know, I got a lot more stories to tell and a lot more lessons I could give, man, to y'all, man, that y'all just now tapping in. So make sure y'all lock in with the Big 7 Up, man. Follow me on Instagram at the Big 7, and let's keep it going, man. So when I first got locked up, man, I went to Juvenile Detention Center, man. In our city, it's called the 2020, or most know it as the 40. Man, the 40 crazy, y'all. So in the 40, man, now it's different. But back in the day, you know, the 40, it was from, you know, from what you could get locked up at. I think they was holding guys in there from the age of 9 years old up to the oldest was like 17. I locked up, I was 15. It was a brother in there. He was locked up. I think he was the youngest. He was the youngest guy to be locked up for that long. He was in there for years. He was only 13 when he got locked up, and he was in the juvenile detention center for like 3 years. And that was unheard of for somebody to be in a juvenile detention center that long. He was fighting an attempted murder case. I remember him. His name was Juan Moore. But anyways, so in the 40, you know, it's crazy, y'all. You know, it's like a dog-eat-dog environment. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you know, you got to be able to withstand your own in there, man. Because if not, man, you're going to get taken advantage of every trip. I remember the guards was pretty cool. I used to have my mama bringing me money up there every week and stuff at visitation. She used to sneak money into the visit room, and then she'd have it real crumpled up, real thin and stuff, folded as many times as she could. And then at the end of the visit, I'll put it in my mouth and put it in my cheeks right here. And that's how I would sneak my money back into the back into the pod. And then later on, I would get money to one of the guards, a $20 bill. She would give me like a 20 or a 50. And I would get that to the guards, and I would be able to feed me for, you know, the entire week. Every day he would bring me in different type of fast food, restaurant food, Popeyes chicken, McDonald's, Burger King, Chipotle, you know, stuff like that. So I didn't have to eat, you know, the regular, you know, juvenile detention food that they were serving us, you know, on the normal, which wasn't that really bad, but, you know, it just wasn't a lot, you know what I'm saying? And if you could eat some fast food, restaurant food, why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my mom used to do that before she passed away when I was still in juvenile. Rest in peace, her soul, man. She 1,000 for that, man. So, and she used to be sneaking me other little things in there too, man, so I could do my time and shit, you know, in peace, man. So, you know, shout out to Mom Duke. She was a real one. Because of the offense that I was locked up for at my age, you know, I was considered, you know, basically what you would call a high risk. And so a lot of the guards and a lot of the other inmates, you know, they kind of like looked at me in a certain light because of my offense, because it wasn't a lot of 15-year-old juveniles coming through there for that. So, you know, I did get a lot of kind of, not like respect, but, you know, just kind of like you know, they looked at me in a certain kind of way, like, you feel me? Especially once I earned my respect from the inmates, I really earned the respect from the guards. So it just kind of all fell in line, like boom, boom, like dominoes. So, so with that being said, you know, I did kind of get a little bit of privilege while I was in juvenile detention because of the way that I carried myself, and just because of, you know, the relationships that I had with certain guards and things like that at that age, you know what I'm saying? I knew that I was gonna eventually have to get sent to prison for my crime. So at the early age of 15 years old, I was always very serious when I was locked up, very, you know, militant minded and disciplined in my behaviors, you know, because I wanted everybody to take me serious, and I didn't want to be looked at as like a joke. You know, I wanted everybody to, you know, look at me in a certain light, which was serious, you know what I'm saying? And my reputation preceded itself. So, you know, it kind of helped in my favor along with a lot of other things. So, you know, while I was in juvenile detention, you know, I did get into a couple fights while I was in there, you know, just kind of setting the tone for, you know, later on when I would get bound over as an adult at 16 years old on my birthday, when I got sent to the county. So, you know, things that happened in juvenile detention when I was in 2020, you know, kind of just set the tone for what would later on be in my future when I would later get sent to prison, because, you know, a lot of the things that I did early on in my bid kind of exceeded itself. And, you know, those was the things that everybody had later on knew me for because of my ruthless behavior initially in prison. But then after that phase was up, I was able to, you know, grow out of that phase and become the person that I am today that y'all see, which is a mature, older, you know, wise gangster. You know what I'm saying? It was a phase that I had to get through to get to this point. So, you know, I'm just leading y'all all the way up to this point where I'm at today in my life. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing y'all along the journey and letting y'all know a little bit more about myself and who I am and how I became the man that I am today that y'all watching right now on here. I ended up eventually getting bound over at 16 years old on my birthday, like I told y'all. And at this time, you know, I was very well established in, inside the juvenile detention center. But it's a whole nother ball game when you get bound over as an adult, because these group of guys, you know, they very, very serious, because, you know, they are on their way to prison. So, you know, they have nothing to lose. You know, guys in juvenile detention, you know, it's in the air. They don't know if they might get out today or tomorrow, or if they might go sent to prison, you know. But based on their behavior in juvenile detention, it will be, you know, likely to determine whether they get sent to prison later on or not. You know what I'm saying? Along with their offense as well, though. You feel me? So, you know, a lot of guys did try to be on their best behavior while they was in juvenile detention. But for a guy like me, who I knew I had a serious offense where it was no getting around it, it was no beating it, I knew that, you know, it really didn't matter how I behaved in there, because, you know, my future was already kind of like written out for me, because I knew that my case was so serious. I knew I was getting sent to prison. It was no way around it. So I knew I was gonna have to get ready for it, and I knew that the only way to get ready for prison was to act like prison ready. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I didn't take nothing from nobody. You know, I was very, you know, just straightforward with everything that I did while I was behind the wall. You know what I'm saying? But so then when I get bound over at 16 years old, I get sent to the county. Now I'm in the county and I'm going through these motions. But like I said, it's a whole different atmosphere. I'm not in juvenile no more. I'm in here with guys who, you know, they have reputations as well, and, you know, they about to go to prison too, just like me. So, you know, they don't have nothing to lose either. So, you know, they own that too. Like, they own what I'm on. Like, they on the same type of time I'm on. You feel me? So, you know, it's no pushovers over here. So, you know, you really gonna have to set the tone. You really gonna have to stand on business over here. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm trying to tell y'all. You really gonna have to stand on business over here, which I did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys couldn't stand the pressure over there in the county, though. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I was one of the ones who, thank God, that I was able to, you know, withstand everything that I had coming my way. And I was able to survive those times while I was incarcerated in the county prison in juvenile with those guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of guys that I was locked up with in juvenile detention that's no longer even here with us today. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate, but it's real. It's reality, because a lot of those guys, they was so gangster, they was so hardcore that, you know, even when they got released from prison later on, they never learned their lesson. And they went back to the same type of time that they was on before they went in prison in the first place. And then they ended up finding themselves dead this time, and not sent back to prison, but dead. Now they can't come back from none of that. So, you know, this is all just lessons, man, life lessons. I'm still standing here today to tell y'all my story. But it's other guys that I was locked up in juvenile detention center with that's not no longer here with us today, man, because, you know, they chose different paths. You feel me? And these was good dudes, good-hearted dudes, and they was juveniles, they was young, but their life got torn apart all because of decisions that they made when they was kids, and they couldn't shake that stuff. They couldn't shake that stuff. They didn't know how to break through all that stuff and get over a lot of those things, which led them to losing their life. You feel me? So, boom. So, you know, I'm in juvenile detention in the county, and, you know, I'm learning, and I'm earning my stripes in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm earning my stripes in here. And it's just so crazy because you get tested so much on a day-to-day basis in there in juvenile detention, because you really have a point to prove. Everybody is in there alpha males. Everybody is in there with high testosterone, trying to prove a point to the next man. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a ruthless environment in there. So it's like you have to be ruthless, more ruthless than the next man, in order to really survive in there, for real. So like I remember a lot of those things, and a lot of the things that we used to do to each other was so crazy. Like I remember we used to take milk. Like they used to give us cartons of milk in the morning for breakfast, and we used to save our milks up. We would save them up for like a week or two, and let them spoil and rotten in our cell. And then we would take the rotten, spoiled carton of milk, and we would find victims in the juvenile pod that was real weak and stuff, and we would just throw the spoiled milks on them and let them burst onto their skin and shit. Or we would catch them in their cell while they was sleeping, and then just throw the spoiled milk all in their room, and then it would just be stinking up their whole room and stinking everywhere. It would just be crazy. But that's what we would do for fun, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have nothing else to do on our time. We didn't have anything else to do. So we would just find things like that to do, you know, to pass time, you know what I'm saying? And we would pick on the weaker guys inside the juvenile detention center to do that to. You know what I'm saying? Because wouldn't nobody ever dare do nothing like that to me. But, you know, we would find guys that was weaker than us, and we would then, you know, do things like that to them. You feel me? So it was a real ruthless type of vibe in there. And if you couldn't get with it, you was gonna get ran over. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of the situation. So these is the type of things I'm talking about that I had to go through on a day-to-day basis. And it get worse here. You know what I'm saying? I can name a lot of things. Like we used to take toilet paper. We would take a whole toilet tissue roll, and we would just take it all apart and just roll it up all in one ball. Take all the toilet tissue and make one ball out of it. Or we would make numerous little tiny like balls, like baseballs out of the toilet tissue, soak them up wet and run them under the water, and then let them get real hard, let them dry out and get real hard. And then we would, and then it would be real hard, like rocks. And then we would throw them at guys inside the pod. Like we used to just do anything, like anything that came to our mind, we would literally do that shit. Like no cap, like you feel me? But that's the things, those are the type of things that, you know, that helped us get through at the same time though. You know what I'm saying? So then I get sent to prison. I get sent to prison at 17 years old. I'm 17 years old. They sentenced me to 13 years. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. You know, ultimately I go to court, and the judge, you know, I had been fighting my case for months and months and months. And then finally, you know, the judge came to the decision that they was gonna sentence me to 13 years in prison, which was, you know, a blessing, because, you know, I wasn't getting life, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna have the opportunity to come home again, you know, and start fresh. So, you know, even though it was a very unfortunate situation where someone else lost their life and they can't, they're not here today, you know what I'm saying? They're not here today, but I am, you know what I'm saying? It's a very unfortunate situation because I was so young, but at the same sense, someone lost their life. You feel me? So it's like it's a real sensitive and crazy situation. But I've learned a lot. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not that same person that I am today, and I'm just thankful that I'm here to be able to, you know, right my wrongs and try to do better today, and try to, you know, make a better of myself in this life that I have right now, because I'm trying to, you know, accomplish a lot of good things. While I was incarcerated, I did so much positive things while I was away. I took the time out to, you know, improve myself in multiple ways. I got my GED, I went to college, I facilitated programs, I did numerous programs, I learned trades, you know, I was a leader in there. I became a role model. I became, you know, somebody who you can look to in a positive way and not in a negative way. You feel me? Like, these is all things that I chose to do for myself though. Nobody else did it for me. I did it myself because this is what I wanted to do. You get what I'm saying? And you know, we make mistakes along this life, man. But I'm just here to tell you that you do not have to allow your mistakes to determine who you are today, bro. You can learn from things. You can change. You can become better. You do not have to be who you think they want you to be just because your environment or your circumstances or your friends. None of that don't matter, gang. You can be different. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be different and walk in a different lane than other people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I went wrong. I was always different when I was a child, but at the end of the day, I chose to follow other people because I felt like that's what life was. You know what I'm saying? Instead of choosing my own destiny. You know what I'm saying? But I was naive because I was young. I didn't have no understanding. But now that I'm older, I'm able to understand things differently than I did when I was a child. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to give y'all today, bro. Whoever watching this, bro, I'm a motivation, a testimony. So, that's what it's really all about. And, I'm gonna keep these stories coming for y'all. I'm gonna keep these videos coming for y'all, man. Make sure y'all keep supporting, man. And stay locked in with me, bro, because we got a lot of good things going on. I got a lot of good music coming. If y'all ain't hit to my music channel, man, make sure y'all tap into my music channel, man, at the Big 7 on YouTube, man. I got fire music dropping today. Matter of fact, today I'm dropping. And so, a lot of great things coming, man. Videos drop it constantly. Got workout videos coming soon for y'all too, man. So make sure y'all tap in, bro. The summer coming. Let's go. Yeah. We out.